Welcome to our Hong Kong Brief Show. I'm your host Jenny. Today, we're diving into some fascinating stories. First up, Pope Leo XIV is calling for prayers for Chinese Catholics, aiming to bridge the gap between the official and underground churches in China. His approach balances respect for Chinese sovereignty with the Church's doctrinal authority, hoping to foster harmony and improve diplomatic ties. Next, we explore the cutting-edge intersection of art and technology. Meet Victor Wong, an electrical engineer and artist, who has developed a robotic arm that creates traditional Chinese landscape paintings. His work sparks debate about AI's role in art, but he sees it as a natural evolution blending human creativity with technological innovation. Finally, Hong Kong's stock market experienced a slight dip after a 6-week rally. Concerns over China's economic slowdown, corporate earnings, and U.S.-China tensions are weighing on investor confidence. Despite this, the market remains dynamic, with recent high-profile IPOs and a resilient property scene reflecting ongoing opportunities. Please continue to watch for more detailed insights. CNN reports on Pope Leo XIV's heartfelt prayers for Chinese Catholics, emphasizing his desire for unity within the Church amidst ongoing tensions with China. The Pope's comments come during a special feast day dedicated to Chinese Catholics, a tradition initiated by Pope Benedict XVI to bridge the divide between the official, state-controlled Church and the underground community loyal to Rome. Leo's remarks highlight his hope that Chinese believers remain strong and joyful witnesses of the gospel despite hardships, and he subtly signals his approach to the delicate diplomatic situation. The Vatican's efforts to reconcile with China have been complex, especially regarding the controversial 2018 agreement on bishop appointments, which grants Beijing some influence over church leadership while maintaining papal veto power. Recent unilateral appointments by Chinese authorities have challenged this arrangement, raising questions about its future renewal. Leo's interactions with Chinese church figures, including a visit to China and a symbolic gift of Our Lady of Xishan, reflect his commitment to fostering dialogue and unity, even as he navigates the nuanced politics of church-state relations and the ongoing struggle to reunify China's divided Catholic community. The Guardian details the innovative intersection of art and technology through Victor Wong's creation of AI Gemini, a robotic arm that produces traditional Chinese ink landscape paintings. Wong, an artist with a background in electrical engineering, set out to create something uniquely human and technologically advanced, resulting in what is claimed to be the world's first AI-driven ink artist. Using a reprogrammed robotic arm and deep learning algorithms, AI Gemini interprets data, from NASA moon maps to stock market fluctuations, to craft intricate landscapes on rice paper, blending traditional Chinese aesthetics with cutting-edge innovation. Wong's work has garnered international attention, with exhibitions across Asia and Europe, and individual paintings selling for thousands of dollars. Despite controversy surrounding AI-generated art, criticized for lacking originality and infringing on copyrights, Wong defends his approach, emphasizing that his creations are original and driven by a desire to push artistic boundaries. He views AI as a natural evolution of artistic tools, paralleling historical innovations like the invention of the paintbrush or the use of linear perspective by Renaissance masters, asserting that integrating AI into art is an inevitable step forward in human creativity. The South China Morning Post vividly reports on the recent decline in Hong Kong stocks, which have retreated from a 2-month high after a 6-week rally, as investors grow cautious amid signs of economic slowdown and corporate earnings setbacks in China. The Hang Seng Index dipped 0.6%, reflecting investor apprehension over the impact of U.S. tariffs and mixed economic indicators. Major Chinese companies like BYD and Li Auto experienced sharp declines, and tech giants Alibaba and Tencent also retreated slightly. Meanwhile, China's official PMI manufacturing index, likely to have risen modestly, still indicates contraction, with activity reports showing uneven growth. Industrial production outperformed expectations, but retail sales and fixed asset investments disappointed. Goldman Sachs highlighted that the U.S. tariffs are taking a toll on the Chinese economy, with earnings reports revealing that most Hang Seng Index members experienced only modest growth, trailing expectations and underscoring the cautious sentiment prevailing in regional markets. In Australia, the property market showcases a lively scene as a Mediterranean-style home in Brisbane, dubbed Casa Agape, sold for a record-breaking $3.91 million just days after construction was completed. This stunning 5-bedroom residence, built in only 6 months, captivated bidders with its soaring ceilings, luxurious pool house, and media room. The auction attracted a crowd of 150, with 5 bidders competing fiercely, culminating in a quick and decisive sale to a local couple who had only seen the property minutes before. The market's buoyancy is further illustrated by the swift sales of other high-end homes, including a $8.4 million trophy residence in Tenerife and a $3.2 million architect-designed house in Paddington, both snapped up prior to their scheduled auctions. The surge in expat buyers and the low Australian dollar, combined with rising construction costs, are fueling this vibrant property scene, indicating a strong demand for premium real estate in Brisbane. Meanwhile, the South China Morning Post explores the historical evolution of justice in colonial Hong Kong through Christopher Munn's new book, Penalties of Empire. The narrative begins with the colony's early days, highlighting the stark contrast between the pristine image of the first court sessions, symbolized by white gloves, and the grim reality of frequent executions, often carried out with little regard for innocence or fairness. Munn's detailed recounting of 9 capital trials from 1857 to 1934 reveals a complex tapestry of cultural misunderstandings, racial biases, and administrative challenges that colored the colonial justice system. From the infamous arsenic poisoning case to the execution of young Americans and the brutal increase in hangings during post-war turmoil, the book vividly portrays a society grappling with its identity, morality, and the harsh realities of imperial rule. As public opinion shifted against the death penalty in later years, Hong Kong's approach to justice evolved, culminating in the abolition of capital punishment in 1993, marking a significant turning point in its legal history. South China Morning Post highlights the remarkable journey of Jonas Sorensen, a Danish ballroom dance champion turned football player in Hong Kong. Sorensen, whose family boasts a rich dance legacy, made a bold transition from the dance floor to the football field after moving to Hong Kong for work. His agility, quick feet, and coordination, honed through years of ballroom dancing, have translated seamlessly into his football career, leading to a last-minute winning goal against Leicester City in the HKFC Standard Chartered Soccer Sevens. His story embodies the blend of passion and versatility, as he navigates the intense tactical demands of professional football while embracing the vibrant culture of Hong Kong, with offers from local clubs already in sight and a desire to explore further opportunities in the city. The South China Morning Post also reports on Hong Kong's burgeoning IPO market, driven by the success of CATL's record-breaking listing. The Chinese EV battery giant's $35.7 billion Hong Kong dollars debut on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange has reignited investor enthusiasm, positioning Hong Kong as a leading global IPO hub. J.P. Morgan analysts predict a wave of upcoming listings from high-quality mainland Chinese companies seeking to capitalize on Hong Kong's favorable regulatory environment, which is set to ease listing requirements further. This influx of capital, especially in industries like electric vehicles and technology, underscores Hong Kong's strategic importance as an international financial center, with industry leaders like CATL and BYD attracting global investor interest and fueling the city's comeback as a premier IPO destination. The Sydney Morning Herald captures the lively auction scene in Sydney, where a modest 2-bedroom Northbridge home sold for an astonishing $6.1 million, amid fierce bidding from 21 registered parties. The rapid-paced auction saw bids escalate swiftly, culminating in a sale well above the property's guide price, driven by a surge in buyer confidence following recent interest rate cuts. Similarly, a waterfront apartment in Elizabeth Bay fetched $6.45 million, and a Tamarama unit sold for $700,000 above its reserve, reflecting a buoyant market fueled by limited stock and optimistic economic signals. These sales demonstrate a resilient property market, with motivated buyers and a positive outlook supported by recent rate reductions, as auctioneer Edward Riley and real estate experts express surprise at the competitive bidding and record-breaking prices. South China Morning Post highlights Hong Kong's strategic efforts to reinforce its global prominence amid a volatile and uncertain world, especially following Chief Executive John Lee Ka-chew's successful visits to Qatar and Kuwait, which resulted in 59 memorandums of understanding that bolster economic and cultural ties with the Middle East. In a landscape marked by fragmentation, rapid technological change, and the erosion of traditional globalization, Hong Kong's core attributes, vibrancy, connectivity, agility, and a robust legal and economic framework, are more vital than ever. The city's unique position as a gateway to mainland China, supported by initiatives like the Greater Bay Area and Belt and Road, allows it to serve as a pivotal hub for cross-border trade, investment, and innovation. Hong Kong's proactive regulatory environment, exemplified by recent virtual asset licensing reforms, underscores its forward-looking stance. Its deep integration with regional frameworks like RCEP, which accounts for a significant share of its trade, further solidifies its role as a regional and global connector. To maintain and expand its influence, Hong Kong must leverage its distinctive one country, two systems model to forge new trade agreements, deepen financial cooperation, evidenced by pioneering ETFs linking Hong Kong and emerging markets, and foster innovation through cross-border collaborations in fintech, health tech, and smart cities. The city's participation in the Greater Bay Area enhances its capacity for technological scaling, positioning it as an essential player in the future of global trade, finance, and innovation. The Hong Kong General Chamber of Commerce stands ready to champion this vision, fostering international partnerships and helping local businesses thrive in a transforming global economy. South China Morning Post vividly illustrates the drastic transformation of Hong Kong's commercial real estate scene, where landlords are now innovating to stay afloat amid declining rents and an oversupply of office space. Hingwai Investments Director, Li Manon, exemplifies this shift by investing 24 million Hong Kong dollars in a cutting-edge three-dimensional LED video wall on the Hingwai building's facade, turning the building into a vibrant advertising hub that generates 26 million Hong Kong dollars annually, an amount comparable to rent from 10 floors. This strategic move reflects a broader industry realization that short-term rent reductions are unsustainable. Instead, landlords are focusing on upgrading their properties with smart technology and aesthetic enhancements to attract premium tenants. As the market faces a glut of over 15 million square feet of office space and vacancy rates hover around 13.7%, older buildings struggle to attract tenants, and rental prices continue a 36-month decline. Experts emphasize that newer, well-maintained buildings with modern amenities and energy-efficient features are better positioned to thrive, signaling a fundamental shift in corporate real estate priorities towards quality, sustainability, and tenant experience. The South China Morning Post also highlights a concerning public health trend, revealing that Hong Kong faces a potential 150% increase in inflammatory bowel disease, IBD, cases over the next 2 decades due to unhealthy diets rich in sugar and fat. Researchers from Hong Kong and Canada warn that the prevalence could soar from 40 cases per 100,000 people in 2014 to over 100 by 2034, driven by rapid economic development and lifestyle changes. The study underscores the impact of environmental factors, especially diet, on gut health, where high-fat, processed foods disturb the microbiome, leading to inflammation and immune system disruptions. The financial and healthcare implications are significant, with annual treatment costs estimated at 40,000 Hong Kong dollars to 50,000 Hong Kong dollars per patient, doubling expenses compared to other chronic conditions like diabetes. Experts advocate for preventive measures such as promoting whole foods and reducing processed food consumption, emphasizing that early intervention and healthier diets could slow the explosion of IBD, which increasingly burdens the healthcare system and threatens to affect future generations. Hong Kong's sports narrative, as depicted by the South China Morning Post, captures a city eager for international recognition through rugby. Despite a history of dominance in the Asia Rugby Championship, the stakes are now higher since the winner secures a direct ticket to the World Cup, a goal that has invigorated the local team. Under the leadership of coach Andrew Douglas, the squad is transforming, with players now bigger, faster, and more prepared than ever before, thanks to a year-long focus on fitness and strategic recruitment, including overseas talents and 7 specialists. The team's recent performances, such as a competitive match in Canberra where they briefly led against the ACT Brumbies' second team, showcase tangible progress. As they gear up for crucial matches against the UAE, Sri Lanka, and South Korea, the Hong Kong team embodies a collective ambition to bridge the gap between domestic and international rugby, fueled by a sense of urgency and national pride. Meanwhile, the women's team faced a tough loss in Japan, but their resilience and the growing depth of the sport in Hong Kong signal promising prospects for future tournaments and the city's sporting legacy. South China Morning Post reports that despite recent market turmoil caused by the US-China trade war, wealthy investors in Hong Kong and mainland China are viewing this period as a prime opportunity to buy stocks. Raymond Ong of Standard Chartered highlights that clients have actively diversified their portfolios, shifting from long-term, macroeconomic, or sector-specific funds into high-liquidity assets like Hong Kong and mainland Chinese stocks, as well as quality government bonds. After a sharp 13.2% plunge in the Hang Seng Index in early April, the market has since rebounded, buoyed by Chinese stimulus measures, interest rate cuts, and technological advancements like the launch of an AI reasoning model by DeepSeek. Many investors, having profited from previous rallies, are confident and cautious, choosing not to sell during the volatility, which they see as a buying opportunity rather than a threat. Standard Chartered, with a strong foothold in Asia and Hong Kong, continues to invest heavily in wealth management, opening new centers and expanding digital platforms to serve the growing affluent population, reflecting a strategic focus on the region's economic resilience and investment potential. The South China Morning Post also details a rare public rebuke from U.S. President Donald Trump directed at Vladimir Putin over Russia's recent drone strikes on Ukraine, which resulted in 13 deaths, including children. Trump expressed dissatisfaction with Putin's actions, criticizing his escalation of violence and questioning his judgment, despite past admiration. The remarks came amid a complex diplomatic landscape, including a significant prisoner exchange between Russia and Ukraine and ongoing discussions about sanctions. Trump's comments contrasted with his earlier statements about the potential for increased sanctions, revealing a nuanced stance on Russia's military actions. Additionally, Trump mentioned progress in U.S.-Iran negotiations concerning nuclear proliferation, suggesting optimism about future developments. His candid remarks underscore the tense and unpredictable nature of international diplomacy involving Russia, Ukraine, and Iran, with Trump's outspoken approach adding a layer of complexity to the geopolitical situation. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.